Welcome to the Good Pod, where today we're talking Elsbeth, Season 3, Episode 15, Otherwise Enraged. I am one of your hosts, Jason Reed. With me, as always, Marissa Garza. Marissa, you good?
I'm good, Jason. You good?
I'm good. I just want to make sure that you're good.
Why? I mean,
listen, I know that...
Too kind of you.
I know that you do a lot for this podcast.
Yeah.
And I try and convey my thanks to you as much as I can and try to make sure that you feel super appreciated all the time.
Yeah, I do have a Le Creuset. I do have one of those that I got on clearance.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that you are feeling good, that you're feeling appreciated.
Oh, that's so kind.
Yeah, that you know that you're that all the work that you do for this podcast is really taken and appreciated. Just so that when the day that we inevitably meet up in person,
it's going on like over 5 years now that we've
when that day does happen, that things are okay between us when we meet face to face.
Oh, you want to make sure I don't pack that pot, right?
Yeah. Listen, I didn't say that. You said that. I for no reason at all want to make sure that you're feeling super appreciated as a part of this team and a good friend of mine.
Well,
thank you. That you are you're a very important person to me, and that you're very appreciated.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I also appreciate the fact that you made sure that this was recorded in case of any future necessity.
Yes, Your Honor. I made sure to tell her at all times that she was very appreciated. And Marissa, I know that sometimes you might feel like this is a one-sided thing. So tell you what. What I'm gonna do.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna take over narration duties for the Elsbeth side of this podcast. So you're not doing all the work so that you make sure you feel appreciated. You're not doing everything in this friendship, in this podcast relationship, just to make sure you feel like we are both holding the loads. So just to make sure everything's cool. Everything's all right. You feel good. Yeah.
Let's back a bit. Let's sit back, relax.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got it. Thanks.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
I
am
good
so glad that you were inspired by art.
Yeah. Yes. This episode really gave me a lot to think about. And I said, let me make sure Marissa feels valued in this relationship we have here. Yes, we are. We're only four or five more episodes away from the end of the season. Things are happening. Things are heating up. We got 3 different storylines here. One more than usual too. We'll get into all that. But before we do, we want to remind you of some free and easy ways that you can help this podcast. You can do that by reviewing, rating, subscribing, wherever it is you're listening and or watching. We did get a new 5-star review in our Apple Podcasts mailbox over this past week. We made the call and you guys responded. We got another 5-star rating. We got a 5-star review. And that 5-star review is from the username says Defender of Democracy. We love that around here. Yeah, for sure. And it just says it's nice, short, and sweet. I love the review of Elsbeth.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Defender of Democracy. That's what we love to hear. We love the ratings too. We like the 5-star ratings. Love those.
Also love democracy.
Love democracy. The reviews really give us that what is the chemical called? Is it serotonin? That's like the good
serotonin. Yeah.
Someone likes and appreciates my art and my work. So we love the ratings, but the reviews hit a special sweet spot. Marissa, I have to really relay this all to Marissa because of course Marissa is part of the Dirty Android army. So she will see these things. Because they're on Apple Podcasts.
You just do all this stuff, Marissa. I'm gonna do all these nice things for you. That's
no. I meant no.
Marissa, you're part of the Dirty Green Bubble Club.
Did I say dirty?
All, green is you did say dirty.
I meant smart and inventive. You guys get all the little features before we do. Resourceful.
Yeah, exactly. I'm living in the future. Yo.
That's what I meant. The smart, innovative Android army. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
It does not have access to Apple Podcasts, so I have.
Okay, I am literally speaking to you on a Mac. I have access to Apple Podcasts. I just have to log in and look at it.
So you're not a complete green army zombie over there.
No, Mr. PC over there. We balance each other out.
Yeah, dirty PC. Yes. So yeah, review, rate, subscribe. We love to hear from you out there in the audience. Also, you can just, if you want to chat us up about anything and everything, let us know over at the goodpodfeedback@gmail.com. Heard again from our friend Erica M being like, "Oh my God, you shouted me out on the podcast last week." I'm shouting you out again, Erica. So yes, we love to hear from you guys out there in the audience. Whenever you have a thought, whenever you have a feeling, whenever you have an opinion, we want to hear it. And if you want to help out this fledgling podcast enterprise, we're small business over here, you can do that over at buymeacoffee.com/goodpod.
Yes, please.
Now that that's done and out of the way, let's get into, as our friend Alec Cumming would say, the murder. So we enter this episode. I was not sure what the heck was happening in the start of this episode. We hear someone narrating. We hear someone talking about hey, I've done so much for all of you. I've planned your weddings, planned your bachelorette parties, planned your bridal showers, baby showers. I've done so much for you guys, but now it's your guys' time to come help me celebrate as I inherit a house from my dead aunt. She gives some of the requirements. She says there is going to be a cash bar. There will be no children allowed. I do have a very fancy registry that you must buy me things for this house from. And also your cell phones need to be locked up when you do come to this party. There's a lot of stuff that this person is asking for. We find out this woman's name is Rachel. And this is apparently an email that is, snacked onto the invite of all the things that are required for you to do for this party. And we see kind of Rachel in the party venue, which is, I think, the house she's inheriting. She's having the party in the house. She's walking around and she's really
it's the carriage house, and she has the picture of the house that she's invited. And it's very Bridgertonian.
Bridgertonian. So she's we do see Rachel in action. She's touring the venue, and she's ordering around the wait staff and telling them to do things in a rather unkind way. So I was like, oh, so Rachel kind of sucks. She's
I don't think so. I mean, yes, I do. But also, okay, here, first of all, let's get this out of the way. Rachel, I will, since we're switching parts, I will highlight who Rachel is played by in this episode. Rachel is played by Beanie Feldstein, who you may know from Booksmart, Lady Bird, American Crime Story, Broadway. She's like really big. She's also these are Jason's notes, Leah Michelle's nemesis, and also was part of the Harriet the Spy animated series, which I had no idea existed.
I had no idea.
Jonah, what's her face? Sister Jonah Hill. Yeah.
Oh, I think okay. Now that you say it, I think I remember that. But yeah, she's like I was looking up. I was like, yeah, I know she's on Broadway. I know there was something with Leah Michelle, but apparently there was this like.
Because because she was in the show.
Funny Girl.
What?
Funny Girl, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Funny Girl. And if you remember Glee history, Jason, Leah Michelle really wanted to be in Funny Girl, and also just like outside of Glee, but Beanie got the role over Leah Michelle, and this was a big to do.
Yeah, but then Leah Michelle came in after Beanie Feldstein because the show was not doing well when Beanie Feldstein was the head of it, and so they're like, "Hey, Beanie, like, we're gonna kind of like ask you to like leave, and we're gonna have Leah Michelle come in." So that kind of sparked this.
Her like Leah Michelle's understudy actually got better reviews than Leah Michelle, I think, if I remember correctly. So it was a bit of a mess of a production, but
it's kind of hard when you can't read, as it's got out about Leah Michelle that she can't read.
There are questions that need answers.
Okay,
but wait, Rachel does not suck. And let me tell you why. Rachel does not suck because, Jason, you don't know the plight of a single woman in America. You have no clue what it is like to have to. I mean, this woman is throwing these things. I have just had to attend these things. Do you know how much money you spend on your friends when you're single? Do you know how much time you spend on your friends when you're single? Do you know how many times no one wants to celebrate the things that you have to celebrate because it's not as momentous as a wedding or a baby or anything like that? It's like, oh my gosh, Marissa, you got a promotion at work. No one cares. There's no registry for that stuff. There's no registry for starting your own podcast. There's none of that. None of that. So while I see what you're saying, I don't enjoy how Rachel is speaking to the staff. I will say that.
Right.
But she is 100% justified in wanting this and wanting her friends to show up. Now, do I think she could have done a better job of like maybe giving some more notice, maybe like doing some stuff? Yes. But also, she's probably like, oh, thank God I get to move to France and live in my aunt's house. I don't have to be around this anymore. And I can just live my little simple life. Peace out. Do all this stuff. So I just have to say, do you know how much it costs to be a bridesmaid in a wedding? Do you know how much?
I get it. I've been a best man in a wedding, so I get it.
You get to rent. Did you rent or buy your tux?
I rented the tux.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. We have to buy our dresses. Most times we have to buy our now there's all these trips to go on things for the bachelorette and all this stuff. It can be quite costly in the 4 figures, if not more. So listen, throw your party, Rachel, get your registry, do all this stuff. I am all for, I love seeing like the divorce registries that are going out now, but also as a single person, I'm like, look, I may never get married. Just buy me a pot. Just get me a blender. I don't want to have to buy these things.
Okay. And that was the Marissa Breaks Down segment of our show. So Marissa,
I don't have the notes to tether me.
So I'm getting you're relating to Rachel a little bit. I understand. I get it. I think it's mainly just the way she was treating the staff is what I was referring to. But this does bring up an issue. I was perusing the Reddits, right? Because I'm out there looking at the Reddit. The Elsbeth does have a Reddit, and there's this topic on the Elsbeth Reddit that says this is the only show where I root for the murderer, and it's a topic that basically talks about the fact that a lot of times the victims of the murders are not good people. It's not people that you really want justice for. Take last episode, in account. There was this like the really rich guy that was mean to the murderer when they were kids, and he was not a great guy. It didn't seem to be a great guy in the moment of the episode either. And so it's like this person had trauma done upon them, and they murdered the person for the trauma.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think maybe murder's not the answer.
No, murder's not the answer, but I think they have a point in that I think they really wish the murderer was more of a villain to root against. Like take a few episodes ago, the wig episode. I kind of wanted him to get away with it. I was like, he was fighting for his life. He had to kill the guy. He seemed like a nice guy for the most part. I mean, well, he did snip off someone's ponytail.
In public, like without. Yeah. I get what you're saying though. I think this is like a victim in of itself of the whole like anti-hero. I mean, Jason, you watch a lot of Marvel. Like there's always like this person is bad because of all of this stuff. And I understand and talk about trauma and the lens of trauma when it comes to TV shows and also my own personal life, but that doesn't necessarily justify the actions that do this. And so I wonder what if this is like because of the political climate that we're in, they can't really say much, they can't really like do much. So I wonder if the show is saying like accountability still matters no matter what you're doing, like no matter what, like no matter if you were wronged or if you were justified in this way. And also maybe telling the audience the cops are going to get you no matter what you do. type of thing. I don't know if it's that deep, but I like that the discussion is happening. I think that's really
Yeah,
interesting.
and I also think it's a commentary on everyone is complex, right? There are a lot of different sides to everyone. So it's not the fact that all the victims should be these great people that were so sad they were murdered and the murderers are always bad people. There are goods, goods and bads to everyone. Just like most of the murderers in this, like in this case especially, yes, Rachel did a very bad thing for a sucky reason, but she also has this trauma associated with her that she feels like an outcast. She feels she wants to be loved, and
Yeah.
she's not feeling loved by her friends.
Well, and she
So
wants to be like accepted. And in this case, which we'll talk about when we get into it wasn't premeditated.
right, it was a crime of a crime of passion and a crime of in the moment. We're not in the past. The crime of passion you think about, but it was a heat of the moment issue of like she's feeling. I mean, look, listen, murder is not the answer. Hear us when we say murder is almost never the answer.
We're not condoning murder. Just
Right, for sure.
get that on record.
Exactly. This is the record. This is a recorded part you need to listen to. We do not condone murder in any form. Well, I mean, listen, sometimes murder is just fine. Edit that part out. Edit that part out. Yeah, edit that part out. But yes. So I think that was an interesting take of like why is it I'm always kind of rooting for the murderer to get away with it because something is usually done to them. And also it's the fact that I think combine that with the fact that Elsbeth is out here running around being like goofy and silly of like, okay, this is like a serious thing though. Like
yeah.
It also kind of juxtaposes like, okay, but like, why do I want Elsbeth to catch this person when I feel bad for this person? So I think that's part of it as well. So it was a very interesting issue that was brought up on the Reddit. So the Reddit sometimes gives the Reddit like Reddit likes to do, gives good takes and also really, really bad takes. So that was something I found on the Reddit. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe I should bring that up on the show. But yes, Rachel is running around getting ready for this party. She's expecting like all her friends come out for her. She's done this big shindig up, and we get the Chiron. We get the big moment. Well, a few cocktails later,
because she has her signature cocktail.
Yes,
Rachel's time.
Yeah, Rachel's time. And boom, a few cocktails later, Rachel is alone at her party. Some time has passed. No one has shown up. We see a lot of texts from a lot of the people that had RSVP'd yes, giving a bunch of lame excuses of why they can't show up. My dog's sick, the babysitter left, I might have COVID. So, at this point, she realizes no one's coming. Everyone that RSVP'd yes is all of a sudden RSVPing no. And so she's like, well, it's no point. She sends the staff home. We get more cocktails later. She's drinking her sorrows away alone. She's in a rage, just crashing stuff around, throwing stuff around.
Yeah.
And so she decides to head on home. On the way home, she does get into a little interaction with, was he a bike messenger or just someone on a bike?
Someone on a bike. Yeah.
He sideswipes her. So it's like, oh, what the hell? And the bike person on the bike is like, hey, don't jump, because she's on a bridge. And she's like next to the bridge. He's like, oh my God, don't jump. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm not going to jump. I have no intentions of jumping. And in this whole scuffle, she ends up breaking a heel off of her Jane Austen inspired heels. It's like, okay, good detail.
I'm into Jane Austen, but I don't even know about that.
Yeah, this biker guy, I don't know what his angle was. Was he really into her or what was happening? Because he was laying it on thick. He was like, hey, like I just want you to know I'm here for you if you need me. I want you. Here, take my number. Can I have your number? She's like, well, you know what? Actually, I can't take your number. I don't have my phone on me. I was like, uh-oh, write that down. Does not have phone.
Yeah.
She's like, don't have my phone, so I can't really take your number. And he like, he writes the number down on a piece of paper, hands it to her, and apparently
it's a business card.
Yeah, it's a business card, because she's like, you're a barista. That's what you do. That's what you are. He's like, no. Technically, I'm a store manager of a coffee shop, a bean boss, if you will.
Exactly.
So Rachel, instead of going straight home, she's in another apartment. She storms into an apartment and someone is sitting on the couch, just kind of relaxing. This person's name is Kimberly. And Rachel wants to know why the hell Kimberly did not come to the party. Why didn't anyone else come to the party?
Yeah, because it was really interesting when all the messages came through, they all kind of came at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a little suspicious. And I also was a little suspicious because at first I was like, did she just walk into Elsbeth's apartment redecorated? Like the layout of the apartment was a little too familiar for me. I was like, what's happening? But yeah, Kimberly is like just chilling on the couch. And apparently, like, this is not where Rachel lives. Like, she just has a key to this apartment.
She definitely walked in like she owned the place. So I was like, okay,
there.
I was like, are they roommates? Like, what's happening? And so she starts yelling at Kimberly. And Kimberly's like, hey. This is not my fault. Okay. No one wanted to come to your stupid little party in the first place. Rachel's like, hey, like, and Rachel comments on the fact that, you know, it's not my fault you don't have anyone to celebrate with, or you don't have a special someone. Rachel says, hey, I like being single. I don't mind being single. Okay. Rachel talks about no one appreciating her. She's been a bridesmaid 16 times. You know, she's been there for all of her friends at all these events.
Yeah.
Kim says, hey, no one forced you to do any of these things. You could have said no.
Shut up, Kimberly. Shut up.
Another point that Marissa can relate to Rachel on. She has the inability to say no to people.
Yeah.
At this, Rachel goes on a rampage. She talks about all the gifts that she bought because Kimberly's been around the block. Okay, Kimberly's on her third husband, and Rachel starts ranting and raving about all the stuff that she's bought Kimberly, including this $800 pot set that she bought her. Okay, in the middle of this, you know, ranting and raving, Kimberly reveals that she is the one that told everyone not to come to the party. It's Rachel's own behavior that has held her back from living a life like all of her friends do. Okay? That's the reason no one came to your party. I told them not to.
Kimberly, no one told you, first of all, to be a therapist in this situation. So you can just see your way out.
Mm-hmm. Rachel does not take that well. She's like, oh, yeah? I'm the one holding myself back from living life like you guys? Oh, yeah? She's holding the pot. And she beats Kimberly over the head with this $800 pot. And Kimberly goes down for the count. As you can tell, we've discovered a soundboard here on StreamYard, and we're going to use it.
Yeah. She does this. First of all, do you know about these pots? The pots that they are referring to? Okay.
I don't.
So they're called La Creuset pot. And
did it change the name for it for this one? I thought it was like a La Petite or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. You don't want to mess with that. Like, no. But they're like cast iron pots that are coated in ceramic. And this one, they're really heavy. So, you know, at first I didn't expect her to die, though. I was like, what is happening? But second of all, I did not expect what Rachel does with this pot, because she puts it in the dishwasher.
To, I guess, you know, I understand the logic. You know, I'm going to wash the blood off this pot to, you know, say this is not the murder weapon or whatever. Okay, cool. As Rachel is, you know, trying to clean up, someone comes stumbling into the apartment. And this is apparently Howie. And this is Kim's current husband. He's been out drinking a little bit. He's coming home stumbling drunk, and he does, hey Kim, can you make me some mac and cheese? You know, I guess this is a cure for drunkenness. And Howie passes out on the couch. She's like, he never saw Rachel. He just, you know,
because Rachel is like on the ground on the other side of like the dining room table. So it's like Rachel, table, floor, another coffee table, and then a couch with Howie on it. So he never in the vicinity.
So right after this murder is taking place, Howie's coming, like Kim's and Rachel's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So she kind of runs around, outside of Howie's viewpoint. So he passes out on the couch, and she's like, this is perfect. So what I'm going to get Rachel and Kim mixed up this whole time.
You're doing great.
What Rachel does, she's like, all right. I know exactly what to do. She takes a different $800 pot, which I guess they have several different $800 pots, and she puts this new pot in Howie's hands. Make sure she gets the fingerprints on his fingerprints on the pot and all that, and rest it in Howie's, on Howie's chest in his hand, so that she can make it look like he's the one that did this to Kim. Meanwhile, she also runs over to Rachel. Oh shit! Runs over to Kim, takes the ring off, and chucks it across the room. I guess to suggest there was some type of lovers quarrel. So she's trying to really make up this crime scene, which blunder number one. Yeah. You should have taken the new pot, bashed him over the head again to get the blood on it, and then put it in Howie's hands.
Well, there are a couple of things here. First of all, pot number one, murder pot. and
innocent pot.
Yeah,
and frame pot.
And frame pot are both yellow, but they, as we will find, like, they're both yellow. And this is like a thing with the pots, like the colors are collectible, they come out at different times. So like this whole thing. And because Kimberly has been married 3 times, I'm sure she has the entire collection, but I'm sure she has just asked for yellow, and so she has like many different shades of yellow of everything. But 2, Rachel, when you put murder pot in the dishwasher, it was the only thing in the dishwasher. Like, throw some clean stuff in there. I don't know. Like, make it look like it was part of a regular dishwashing, because otherwise it just looks like obvious that this was put here for some reason.
Or even better, take, like, okay, I got Howie here. Perfect. Take the freaking pot out of the dishwasher, rub your fingerprints off it, and put that in Howie's hands, right? Like, the fact that she put a pot with no blood on it in this man's hands, like, what did you think was gonna happen? Like, you thought that he would have bashed her over the head with the pot and no blood would have gotten on the pot? She's an amateur. I mean, she literally is an amateur murderer. So I guess it makes sense. It
wasn't part of the plan.
Wasn't part of the plan. She improvised this whole thing. So she's made it look like as if there was some domestic dispute and Howie bashed Kim over the head with the pot himself. All right, perfect. Rachel, she thinks she's in the clear. She's out of here. And so now we get into the investigation. Okay. Wagner is kind of trying to console a downtrodden Elsbeth for reasons we'll talk about later. And he's like, "Hey, I know to get your spirits up. I got a murder for you. I got a murder to solve." And so he tells her about, the murder, like, go get on down there and figure it out. So today, this episode, Elsbeth is partnered with Detective Third Watch. In notes, I've shortened Detective Third Watch to DTW every time I reference her. So, and we get no police officer in this episode at all, which is interesting.
I mean, Detective Third Watch, she knows. She knows
her way
been around the block a couple times.
She's been around the block. Yeah. So Elsbeth and Detective Third Watch are questioning Howie, the husband. And Howie's like, "Yeah, I think I might have done this. I was really drunk, and I just don't remember doing it, but I think I might have done this because I was super duper drunk, and I woke up with a pot in my hand." Elsbeth is just like, "Oh no, I don't know if you did this. We'll figure it out. It's okay." It's like, all right. So Elsbeth has pretty much crossed Howie off her suspect list immediately. And so Elsbeth is doing her Elsbeth thing, walking around the crime scene, trying to intuit, trying to pick stuff up. She remarks to Howie, like, "Yo, what are these marks on this floor over here? Like, this is weird. Why are there a bunch of different scratch marks on the floor?" Howie says, "Oh yeah, we have this old lady that comes and visits us from time to time. She's got a cane. It was probably her cane. Howie, we're trying to help you. Stop giving excuses for what this could not have been." And Elsbeth's like, "No, I don't think it was that, because these are a lot of uneven marks here. It could not come from a cane." Okay, it's like that's something.
Yeah, at this point, I'm like, yes, okay, the cane, like, you can lean a lot. I just don't know, like, to make those marks with shoes, I think you would have to, like, whack the shoe. I don't know how. Like, I thought this was it. That I know that this is, like, key to the case,
Mhm.
But I thought it was a little bit of a weak evidence thing
Yeah.
that was happening here.
It could have been anything. Could have literally been anything.
Well, but also
And
like to like again,
you have
like
to stomp.
you
Yeah.
really do. And I did not see her stomp. Did you see her stomp? Like I
I didn't
didn't
really
see
see her
any of
stomp.
that.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So Elsbeth, the next thing Elsbeth points out, I was like, hey, by the way, this pot that you had in your hand and this lid that's over here that would seemingly come in the same set, they don't match. They are yellow, but they're different shades of yellow. So
Exactly.
I don't think that was the murder weapon. I think the murder weapon is probably the pot that matches this lid. So that
Because
pot
every pot has a lid.
has a lid. So the pot has to be here somewhere. So Elspeth does her routine of running around like a cartoon character, like literally. I was like, okay, like this is insane. I guess this was Elsbeth's like what do we call it? Like overacting of the episode. She doesn't really get another chance to like really use physical comedy. So this is her physical comedy moment of the episode because she's running around like she's in a Scooby-Doo cartoon of like running into the kitchen like sliding into like, oh my god, I can't stop myself. And she looks in the dishwasher and finds the murder pot. She's like, oh, here we go. And in a very sloppy product placement, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Detective Third Watch goes, oh my god, with Google Lens, you hear that, everybody? Google Lens, I can see that these two pots are different shades of yellow. I don't know how I could have done this without Google Lens, brought to you by Google. Like
Lens.
Please. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so trifling.
It is interesting because I mean we've talked about this before, I think on other podcasts, but the phones that people use and what brand they are and what it says about their character. I thought this was like a good win for Team Android because at least it was a good person using an Android and not like a questionable person or like a villain of some sort. So I mean, I guess you can get like Google Lens on an iPhone, so I guess it's like agnostic in that point. But at this point, I was just like, thank God we're not the villain this time.
I mean, not the villain, but Detective Third
Watch.
I mean, but not the. We'll come to see like not the most like intuitive person around the block. You know what I mean?
That doesn't mean
like,
she's a bad person.
She's not a bad person. I mean, you're referring to the fact that in movies and TV, Apple has some kind of deal where villains are not allowed to use Apple products in movies.
Even if they're morally gray in any way, like no iPhone, no MacBook, no nothing.
Yep. Evil people use Androids. That's
not
the message.
what I'm saying.
That's the message, though, that Hollywood is putting out there. I'm not saying it's true or not, but what I've been told by TV and movies, where I get most of my information from, is that evil people use Androids.
On you. That's what I'm hearing is that Apple iPhone users only get information from TV and movies.
I mean, listen, what's worse? I don't know. So yes, we found the murder pot in the dishwasher. So like, okay, this must be the murder weapon here. How it goes? Oh yeah, that definitely wasn't me because there is no way that I'll put a Le Petit pot in a dishwasher, no matter how drunk I am. And I love Detective Third watch me like, so you weren't drunk enough to put this in the dishwasher. Like you could never do that, but you might kill your wife when you're drunk. That's what you say. I was like, okay, good one, Detective Third watch. Kim. So Kim's phone, Kim's phone is still at the house. Kim's phone receives a text from Rachel asking why Kimberly did not come to her party last night.
Well, and just checking it. Like it was very good, like, oh, I was so sad you didn't come to the party. Are you okay? Like just checking in, making sure you're good. Not I can't believe you didn't come to a party.
Yes.
Biatch.
And so Elsbeth's like, okay, oh, who's Rachel? And Howie points out Rachel in a photograph of Kim and all her friends. It's like, oh, Rachel, you say? It's like, oh, Rachel, see, you're doing too much. That's
not only like the picture that was used was in a frame that Rachel told us that she bought for
Mhm.
Kimberly that she took off the shelf and basically left on the table for them to have this conversation.
Yeah, and it's like it's classic Elsbeth murderer, blunder.
Yes.
You you're doing too much. You should not be calling attention to yourself in this moment. Like just let everything go. Let them come to you. Don't
Yes.
go snooping into other things. Okay. So I think Rachel thinks she was doing something good, but it's just like, nope, you just got everyone on your case now. So later in the next scene, Wagner, Detective Third Watch, and Elsbeth are all digging into Rachel's party requirements. Like Wagner cannot believe there's this much pomp and circumstance on inheriting a house. You do this big party over inheriting a house. People don't usually do that. You usually do that for weddings, for birthdays, for having a child. You don't do that for getting a house. You didn't do anything. You just inherited a house. It's like,
again, you're a man, Wagner. You have no idea what it's like to be a single woman in America.
Me thinks Marissa had a lot of pen unveilings that a lot of people didn't come to.
No.
Time for the patented Marissa pen party. Come on, guys, we're ready. And there's like, nope.
Listen, I have a lot of my birthday's in January. Mm-hmm. Anytime I try to plan a party for my birthday, nobody wants to come because there's going to be snow, it's going to be cold, or it's going to be
in Chicago.
Yeah. So that's never fun. Parties are never fun for me. And then I'm always going to other people's parties doing stuff. So I'm 100% not with her motives. Not with her actions, but I am aligned with Rachel's motives. Like I get why she's having this party, and I get having like these feelings. If you can't tell, this is a great episode to take me off notes. I really feel like I'm putting stuff out here, Jason.
Yeah. Well, Rachel. I mean, Marissa. I just want you to know that if I was in Chicago, I would come to every party that you invited me to.
Thank you. That's so nice.
What is it a line in the Golden Girls theme song? I would come to every party you threw, something like that. Yeah. It's just too bad that I'm all the way here in Baltimore. Because if I was in Chicago, I come to every single one of your parties. Just so you know, just to make you aware.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. So Wagner can't believe this. Detective Third Watch is like, all right, why are we even looking into this Rachel thing? Does this even matter? Elsbeth says, yes, Detective Third Watch, it does matter because Kim RSVP'd no to Rachel's party. So why would Rachel be asking why Kim wasn't at the party if she RSVP'd no?
Yeah.
Detective Third Watch, you disappoint me. I thought we had gotten better than this, Detective Third Watch. Because Detective Third Watch goes, well, the husband admitted to the murder, so case is solved, right? Like, we're all good, right? We don't need to look at anybody else for this.
Yeah, I hear you.
Have you not learned by now, Detective Third Watch, DTW, that this, if Elsbeth has a hunch, Elsbeth is right. We've done this so many times. You doubted Elsbeth so often, and she proves you wrong. But now you're going, oh, I don't know why we're doing this. We got the guy right. No, we didn't.
Who are you? What's his name?
What?
What's his name? Who always says like, oh, we got him, so we're done.
Oh, Smullen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smullen's infected her. But, in season 1, it was definitely all the detectives that were like, oh, case closed. Like, no, we have some more to do. This is why y'all needed a consent decree lawyer, because y'all are effing up.
Third Watch, we are only 23 minutes into the episode. Okay.
Yeah, it can't be over. It can't be done. Elsbeth's like, okay, so like, but what are Kim's motives though? I mean, no, she questions Howie. Why would Howie do this? Detective Third Watch. Okay, I know he said he might have done it, but he didn't say he did do it. So let's think about why Howie would do this. Yes, it was reported that Howie and Kim got into a lot of fights. Neighbors heard it a lot, but they didn't hear it that night. So what would be the reasoning for Howie that night to kill this woman since they didn't get into a fight that night? Elsbeth wants to question Rachel. It's like, I want to see what she has to say for herself. Like, so, I think you just want more information about that party that Rachel do. That's what you want to do. That's why you want to talk to Rachel. It's like, guilty. We all know Elsbeth loves a good party. Elsbeth does head over to a baby shower that we find out that Rachel is throwing for one of her friends. It's nice and Western themed. It's Elsbeth gets a nice pink little cowboy hat, which I'm sure she loves. She's like, ooh, cowboy hat, sign me up.
Any hat, really, but
any hat will do. We've seen tiaras, we've seen hats, all sorts of headwear for wigs, all sorts of headwear for Elsbeth. She loves it. So Elsbeth finds Rachel at the party, and what I thought was very funny, she goes, I'm here on a consent decree. I'll explain all that to you later. Like, it's not important. She said, we should really have a handout explaining what a consent decree lawyer means. It's like, perfect. I love that. I love how they constantly poke fun at the fact that, like, we have to say this stupid line every.
Well, they also, because she's there alone. She's not there with Detective Third Watch, and she's not there with the police officer. So in this case, she actually did have to say something as to why she was there. But yes, I love how they handled it.
Yeah. And Rachel does a grieving best friend routine. Oh my God, I'm so sad that Kim's dead. She would have wanted me to still throw this baby shower for our friend because she knows how much it means to me to help our friends. We find out that Rachel is not an actual like party planner by trade. She is a data governance manager, and wrote in the notes, reminder to ask what that is to Marissa. Do you have
so a data governance manager usually is in charge of the data and what happens with the data within a company. So who can you share data with? How can you link data to different apps? If you don't know, Jason, pretty much companies have pretty much every detail about all of us pretty much at all times. And so to have a data governance manager is a way that companies can say, but we're like protecting your data. We're here making decisions. There's a human making a decision around what is happening with said data, what we're connecting it to, who we're sharing it with, when we're deleting it, if we're changing it, if we're updating it, all of those things. So I'm assuming that Rachel's job here is like approving those decisions because she's the manager at this point. She's not the one actually making like those connections.
They make this point, but nothing really comes of it. I was like, okay, I don't know. Like I thought that fact would come into play later in the episode.
Yeah, it's not really like it's just basically saying her job is not like project management. Her job is not event management. Like it's just so
she just does this out of the goodness of her heart, basically. Yes. So yeah, Elsbeth says, oh yeah, it should be your job because you do it so often. You know, you give so much without asking for things in return, except for this email you sent out about your little party that you wanted all these lavish gifts and all these requirements you had. And she does wonder, like, okay, Rachel, you and Kim are so close, but why didn't she come to your party? Why did she RSVP no? Basically, Elsbeth telling Rachel, like, I got you. Like, I got my eye on you. Rachel kind of like, she's like, oh, I don't know. And she throws Howie under the bus even more. She's like, you know, Howie, that guy's terrible. He's had a lot of DUIs. He's trouble, that one. So he definitely must have done it. It's like, okay. More pointing the finger at someone else. Elsbeth.
But also good thinking on your feet, Rach.
True. Very true. Marissa, I think you really love Rachel. I think you're Rachel, very simpatico for some reason. You know what I mean? Elspeth, you know, and Rachel's like, yeah, I guess because she was dead, she couldn't come to my party. Rachel's like, well, actually, Rachel's time of death was 2 a.m. long after your party was over. So, I mean, she still could have come. I mean, why didn't she? Why and why did you, why do you think she didn't come? Rachel's like, oh, I just had a feeling something was off. I could just feel it in my bones because me and Kim are so connected. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Elsbeth?
You know what it's like to be connected to a friend, Elsbeth?
Yeah. Elsbeth says, hey, I get it. I'd be feeling the same way if my friend Kaya was in danger. I said, oh, you invoked? You invoked the name Kaya? It's been a while since you've heard the name Kaya. I was like, oh. And the fact that you said her name in conjunction with her possibly being in danger, I was like, ooh. I was like, uh-oh.
Yes, and in this thing, because she's like, yeah, I feel the same way about my friend Kaya. If she was in danger, I would reach out to her immediately, but I can't. And then, but at the same time, I'm like, when did you have this feeling? When have you had this feeling? Is this now the only time you've had this feeling? Like,
Well, she
I know
had to
she's
feel.
been distracted by with the Alec stuff, but like we haven't heard about this hasn't been like a thread that we've been pulling on this entire season. It just kind of popped up at one point and then popped up the other. And Kaya deserves better. Kaya deserves better. Rachel deserves better. Everyone deserves better.
Yeah, I mean, she had that moment in the episode where we saw Kaya again, but then it was just like, oh, I guess she's okay. It's like,
yeah, but I mean, Kaya literally said like, "I'm in danger. I'm leaving now."
yeah,
And she's like, okay, I won't think about you for another 10 episodes. Bye.
yeah. So Elsbeth says, if my friend Kaya was in danger, I would reach out immediately, unless Kaya was on assignment. Hint, hint, wink, wink. It's like, okay, cool. And so she says, so if you thought your friend Kim was in danger, why would you wait and reach out the next day? Rachel says, well, I couldn't reach out in the moment because my phone was in the lockbox at the party. So therefore, I could not have texted and called Rachel.
Convenient says, and true.
Yeah. Elsbeth says, yeah, about your party. How did that party end up turning out? Mega blunder number 2. Rachel lies and says the party went great. I was worried I wouldn't have enough food to feed people.
Okay, but that's also the truth. She said, I was worried I would not have enough food to feed people. Turns out I was wrong because no one showed up.
That's the part she did not. That's the part she didn't say.
That part. She didn't say that part. But she was right about not having to be worried about the food.
Yeah, for sure. Rachel kind of like just like, okay, whatever. I gotta go because I gotta do this gender reveal pinata. Surprise, it's a boy. Boom. Hey.
First of all, that's not a traditional way to do a pinata, but yay for not causing a wildfire.
Yeah, you gotta give them that credit, right? And why, if you have a pinata, you have to beat the pinata. Why would you have a pinata and just pull a string to see what the cut? Like you beat the pinata.
Yes.
Stupid, ridiculous. I feel bad. I'm sorry for you and your people that they did that to your culture.
Yeah, I will take it back to them.
Take it back to the council wherever you take these. I will
let them know. Yes, thank
you. Later, Elsbeth and Detective Third Watch are talking to some of Rachel's other friends. They have 3 friends. They're in the conference room at the precinct of like, all right, tell us a little bit about Rachel, how you feel about her, because we got our eye on her. The way that Rachel's friends describe Rachel is terrible. They're like, she has how would you say, big student council energy. I was like, that's a burn, but that is an accurate burn. I was like, that like Rachel does give student council energy. They say Rachel only talks about herself. She's like listening to a podcast you never subscribed to with crazy eyes. I was like, damn, ouch.
That's hard.
Detective Third Watch is like, yeah, so you guys were annoyed by her, huh? Yeah, it seems like a type of thing that a hot girl group would do, like you being annoyed by your friend that cares. Yeah. They're like, oh, thank you for calling us hot. It's like, you did not understand the point.
Mean girls are gonna mean girl, it never ends.
Mean girl. They question, if you guys hate Rachel so much, why do you let her throw you all these parties and do all these things for you, buy you nice things as gifts? Like, why would you just like not invite her to the parties? They're like, well, Rachel is a very insistent person. She basically won't let you not let her throw a party for us. Like, we have no choice, basically. They go, she's childless and wealthy. It's like she only gives gifts to show off and make everything all about her. Like, ooh, ouch. I think if Rachel heard any of this, we'd have 3 more dead bodies.
Yeah. But also, like, I'm just gonna say, as someone who doesn't feel like they belong, as someone who has felt like they are not part of a group, this is the way in. This is a way to feel needed by the group. This is a way to put yourself in the, it's not through social connection. Like, I'm not saying it's a healthy way to do it, but I can understand, again, yes, maybe I am a little identifying with Rachel, but you know what? It's fine. This TV show, as we've established with the University of Illinois and the French Horn mentions, is about me. So that I can understand why Rachel would do that to try and be in with this group.
Yeah, I definitely understand the reasoning. When you feel when you're kind of grasping at straws, right? What can I do to be part of the in crowd, the in group? Because for whatever reasons, they don't find me acceptable on my own. So I have to kind of buy my way in, if you will, by doing favors. It's like when you're in school, like I'll do your homework for you. Let me hang out with you, right? It's like that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so basically, like, yeah, Rachel will not let us not have her throw a party. So that's why she's still here. That's why we let her do all these things. They talk about the fact that, and Howie's brought up at some point. They're like, oh yeah, that guy, he sucks. And they say he sucks so much that Kim had to buy herself her own engagement ring. This gets Elsbeth to be like, huh, that's interesting, because the engagement ring was thrown across the room. So why would you throw something in disgust if you picked it out yourself? I was really with Elsbeth here. I was like, it's kind of a reach, because I feel like
also like a symbol, Els.
Right. It's a universal sign of like, I'm done with this, is to take your engagement ring off and throw it across the room, whether you bought it yourself or not. It's like taking your, like, I've seen it in so many of the reality shows that I watch. Like taking your wedding ring or your engagement ring off is a universal sign of like, I'm done with this. Yeah. Whether you meant it or not. Usually the people that I watch in my shows are like, sorry, I took my ring off the other day. I'll put it back on. Like, but that's like a universal sign of like, I'm done with this marriage, and throw it across the room probably at him. It's like, I'm done with you and I'm done with this relationship. So I wasn't really with Elsbeth on this part of it. But I was like, okay, we kind of make a square peg fitting a round hole in this moment. Like, okay, Elsbeth is intuiting things again. Later, Detective Third Watch comes and finds Elsbeth. She's, listen, I found the email that Kim sent to all the friends telling them to RSVP no to this party in her trash folder, not in her sent folder. So she wanted to make sure that Rachel did not see this email. I'm like, is Rachel digging into Kim's emails? Is that what Rachel is doing? I was weird. I was like, so therefore, Rachel didn't know about the email. She didn't know about Kim telling her friends not to come to the party. So there goes your motive, Elsbeth. Okay, so obviously you don't know what you're talking about, Elsbeth. Even though you've solved hundreds of cases for us, you don't know what you're talking about. Elsbeth says, well, anyone could have forwarded the email to Rachel instead of her seeing it through Kim's inbox. So your move now, Detective Third Watch, what you got to say about that? But Elsbeth does kind of talk out loud about the fact that maybe Kim confronting Rachel, because we hear from the friends that that Kim told all of them to RSVP no, and that Kim would handle it with Rachel herself. She would confront Rachel. She'll confront Rachel about her behavior afterward, which I was just like, it's a real crappy thing for Kim to do, to be like, everyone say no, and then I'll talk to her afterward. Why wouldn't you just talk to her beforehand and be like, hey, Rachel, you're a little much. You need to kind of like back up off it. Why bully her and then be like, I'll explain why I bullied her later? That was shitty. I was like, no, that's not cool. Not cool. I'm with Marissa on this one.
Yeah, thank you. Girl friendship sometimes, this is what I'm saying. Mean girl.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely mean girl behavior. So Elsbeth talks out loud. She's like, hey, maybe the fact that Rachel did say she was going to confront Kim said she was going to confront Rachel. So maybe she confronted Rachel, and in that moment, Rachel got heated and decided to kill Kim in this like heated moment. Ding, 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 ding. Elsbeth, you're putting all the pieces together. And so at this point, Detective Third Watch and Elsbeth, they're kind of at odds. Detective Third Watch is all about this being Howie. It must have been Howie. It had to be Howie. And she said, and Detective Third Watch says, hey, whoever did this did not buzz up to get into the apartment. They had a key. So therefore, it must have been Howie. Elsbeth says, well, Rachel and Kim were good friends, so Rachel could have had a key to the apartment. It's like, at this point, it's like Detective Third Watch is like, no, it's definitely Howie. He's like, ma'am, the show was called Elsbeth. The show is not called Detective Third Watch. Okay.
Yeah, I think what the show is like trying to put some sort of barrier in front of Elsbeth when it comes to this, and they didn't have anything in the plot other than Detective Third Watch, unfortunately for
But
us.
it's not effective when we already know that Elsbeth is right.
No, exactly. No, 100%. I'm with you. I just think this is like a victim of either time scheduling budget or something like that, where they were like, okay, we're just gonna make Detective Third Watch
Yeah.
the naysayer, the person that's gonna try to take Elsbeth off of her track.
Yeah, it makes the it makes the detectives seem like bad when they are
Yeah.
so against Elsbeth. Like, oh god. And the fact that Detective Third Watch is so adamant that it must be Howie, and the fact that we know it's not Howie, is just like, oh, it's not good look. Not good look for Detective Third Watch. Elsbeth pretty much lays out the exact way that Rachel could have murdered Kim. It's like, okay, like she's like, hey, she killed her with this pot, put it in the dishwasher, and then put another pot in Howie's hands. Like, oh, she called the whole thing out. So Detective Third Watch says, well, how about this, Elsbeth? We got Rachel's phone records, and it shows that her phone was at the party venue all night. So got you there, Elsbeth. Got you there. Yeah. I was just like, I have to figure that one out. So next up, Elsbeth shows up at another party that Rachel's throwing for a friend. Here, Elsbeth confronts Rachel over lying about no one coming to her party, because at the little meetup with all the friends, Elsbeth found out no one came to the party. So she's like, well, Rachel, why did you lie and say that people were at your party? Rachel says, well, I felt bad that no one was at a party. I didn't want to admit to that. And Elsbeth also tells Rachel about the fact that, and Kim had told all your friends not to come, which is a fact that until now, Rachel did not know. Mm-hmm. So Rachel really has no idea this happened. Mm-hmm. And so at this point, she has to kind of deal with it. She has to kind of bring that in. She kind of feigns a little bit of hurt. She's, oh, that's terrible. But you know what? I'm not angry. I know that Kim was in a bad place. She was in a bad marriage. Did I tell you about how terrible Howie is? And he's probably a murderer who murdered his wife.
Let me say it one more time. Howie is horrible.
Howie's terrible. He definitely murdered his wife. Elsbeth points out that the murder weapon was actually a gift that Rachel had given to Kim. And as she points out the fact that, hey, the pot that we found in Howie's hand did not match the pot that was found on the table. It actually matched the pot that was found in the dishwasher. So that's weird, huh? And she says to Rachel, your gift really made an impact on her, huh? It's like, boom, right on the nose on that one. Elsbeth says, if I was you, Rachel, and I heard this about my friend and what my friend did to me, I definitely want to confront the person. So I don't know how you couldn't have done that. It takes a strong person not to do that. Rachel says, yeah, well, I was busy wallowing in my sadness all night. I did flip out in front of the cleaning crew, so they can definitely tell you I was here that whole time. So I couldn't have done it. Also says, well, also something that's really interesting. I talked to the cleaning crew the day after the party, and they said there were only 2 boxes of food left. So if no one was at your party, who ate the food? Again, Rachel also is kind of surprised by this. She's like, oh, I actually...
genuinely, I have no clue.
And she's like, actually, I'm not lying to you right now. I have no idea why there's no food left. Elsa says, I believe you, but I'm going to get to the bottom of it. Dun, dun, dun.
I thought this part was an interesting... I was like, well, why do we need this? Where is this going to go? Why do we need this? I get the message of it later, but also at this point, I was just like, interesting little...
Dude, they could have found
a interesting twist, but I don't know if we needed this, really.
Dude, they could have found a better way to prove that Rachel was not at the party venue all night, because I think that's what this next part is kind of proving.
Yeah.
So Elsbeth talks to one of the caterers that were working that night, and she says, hey, so I've talked to some of your coworkers, and they tell me that you have a habit of taking unused food at the end of the night and kind of giving it to some shelters out there. And which, hey, bravo to that man. Yeah, he cops to it. He's like, yeah, I did do that. I took a lot of the food at the end of the night, because why should that food go to waste just because this woman had no friends? Amen. And he tells Elsbeth that he went to go get the food at about 2 a.m. and confirms to Elsbeth that Rachel was not there at the time he got the food. So this tells Elsbeth that Rachel was not there all night. She definitely could have been the murderer.
And 2 a.m. is the time of the murder.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a particularly important fact.
Yep. So Elsbeth comes and tells Detective Third Watch about this fact of like, hey, so apparently Rachel wasn't in the carriage house that whole time, because we hear tell that she was Rachel was not there when he got the food. Detective Third Watch is like, yeah. Also, we found that the pot that was used, that we think was used for the murder, had traces of protein on it from Kim's blood, and also there was blood in the filter of the dishwasher. So this was definitely, without a doubt, the murder weapon.
This was my biggest surprise out of the whole
Why?
thing. I was like, well, of course, not about the protein being still on the pot, but a two dishwasher you're going to betray? What? A two? You know what I mean? Like, I just was like, oh, because at first I was like, oh, yeah, put it in the dishwasher. It'll sanitize it, blah, blah, blah. That makes sense to me. Whatever. I did not expect for the filter to catch things. That was a
Yeah.
scientific, huh?
I mean, but in the parlance of murder mysteries, because I've done a lot of
Yeah, yeah.
audiobook listening to murder books, and talk about the fact that hey, by the way, we snaked your drain and found blood and pieces of a person in your drain. So that's always a giveaway for some of these cases. Like, which I was like, I mean, we pretty much already knew that this was the murder weapon. I don't know if we needed this exact piece of evidence. Like,
We
okay,
we didn't need it, but the characters needed it.
true, and so, and this also illustrates the fact that, hey, the pan in the dishwasher was definitely the murder weapon. So the fact that Howie was holding a different pan in his hand that had no blood on it at all is
It's
probably
closer.
is leading to Detective Third Watch back. Okay, Elsbeth, I think you're probably right
Mhm.
that it wasn't Howie. Yeah, you were right. She says, don't get a swollen head about it, okay? Elspeth says, I can't. I have so many good hats I want to fit into. All right, Elspeth. And as they are talking about this, we find out that Rachel is at the precinct with Carson Rogers. Who is Carson Rogers, you may ask? It's the Bean Boss, the biker from earlier in the episode, and he is here to give an alibi for Rachel. He says Rachel was with him all night. So they in the conference room, I should say, Rachel retells the story of her and Carson meeting, but she does it in more of a storybook fairy tale fashion of like, he swept me off my feet after he sideswiped me on a bridge and I broke my heel, and he took me to his apartment. We just talked all night. Carson says, yes, me and this wonderful woman were talking all night in my apartment. And as they're leaving, Wagner says, yo, you know something? I don't trust any guy who drives a Cybertruck. And I was like, yeah. I was like, good instinct, Wagner, good instinct. And Elsbeth's like, hold on. So you're telling me that a few days ago, this man was traveling via bike, but now he's driving a Cybertruck? And Wagner says, yeah, dealer plates are still on and everything. So it's a brand new
First of all,
Cybertruck.
can we just talk about the fact that Wagner is peeping the parking lot? Like, he's checking it out. He's like, I envisioned him like looking through the blinds. Like,
is that a Cybertruck?
what's that?
Listen, as someone that has seen the Cybertrucks, they definitely stand out.
Yeah,
it's just like when you see one, you have to be like, what? First of all,
why
is this something that's ever why is the Cybertruck is the biggest real world parallel to me of that story of the Emperor with no clothes or whatever it was.
Yes, yeah.
Like that is the biggest parallel to me. Like, isn't this truck cool and awesome? Everybody's like, yes, so cool and so awesome. When really it's just this oversized.
When it is neither cyber nor a truck.
Yeah, it's just this oversized monstrosity that looks like a child built this in for a Boy Scout derby race or something. Like, terrible. And so yes, and so then through this, everyone's just like, okay, so obviously Rachel paid for Carson's Cybertruck to basically buy an alibi here. And we take a look at Rachel's socials, and we see that Carson and Rachel have almost in a way backdated their relationship by over the past couple of days posting photos of them together as if they are now this real couple.
Here's the thing. Rachel has enough money to have done that better.
Yeah, for sure. She could have paid a hacker or somebody to backdate some photos.
Rachel.
Yeah. So Elsbeth sees a photo of Rachel at her party and sees how she's dressed. Wagner and Detective Third Watch like, I really like that. I like that. I like her hair the most, I think. And Detective Third Watch says, but that dress though. It's like, okay, cool. Calm down, guys. Elsbeth looks at the heel in the photo, says, the heel. That's our Eureka moment music, folks. We got it. We figured it out. So boom, this is Elsbeth's big moment. She figures it out all from looking at this one photo of the heels that Rachel is wearing.
Yeah, which I also enjoyed that Detective Third Watch was like, I know that those aren't period appropriate. Like,
yeah,
that's how it is.
I love Detective Third Watch is into some 13th century romance.
Okay, like get with it. Watch some Gene Austen. Get on the Bridgerton train. You would love it. It's quite messy.
I have peeked in on my wife and my daughter watching Bridgerton, and have sat there sometimes and been like, oh, this is scandalous. So time for the bust. We get Elsbeth and Detective Third Watch coming in to Rachel is at Kim's house. She's like, how dare you be at the person you murdered's house, planning her memorial party. It's a new party. It's a new type of party. It's a memorial party. So Elsbeth comes in and pretty much wastes no time in laying out all the facts. All right, this is what you did. This is how you did it. This is why you did it. As if, like, she describes it as if she was there, as if Elsbeth was there at the time. Like, she describes everything. Rachel, of course, states her innocence. Like, no way I would have done that. And she's like, and we looked into it, and you definitely bought Carson's Cybertruck. So we know that you bought his alibi. And Elsbeth says, and this round heel that you were wearing in the photo, that you for some reason decided to admit that you broke in the meeting with Carson. Again, mega mess up number 3, Rachel. Why did you have to include the fact that your heel was broken? That's what gave you away. And so Elsbeth says, and the fact that you broke your heel tells me that this is the exact impression that this heel would make in this 4 right here of the marks I was talking about in the beginning of the episode. So these are the marks from your heel, which means you were here and you are the one that murdered Kim.
Dun-dun-dun.
So yeah, she calls it all out. She says, it was your shoe that made the marks on these 4. So boom, 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 boom. And yeah, and they're like, how did you get my shoe? They're like, oh, Carson let us into your apartment because he is just so sure that a wonderful wildflower like you could never have done this. I love how Elsbeth pulled the shoe out of Detective Third Watch's coat. She's like, and your shoe right here. I got it for Detective Third Watch's coat. And Rachel at this point is like, I just wanted people to be there for me, especially Kimberly. I was like, oh boy.
I feel it, Rachel. I get it.
Oh, look at Marissa's future right here, folks. Oh boy. I'm nervous.
I get it. I could write a whole paper about this, but I won't.
I think you will. I think you're going to. You'll never publish it. You'll be like, this is just for me. I just need to do something for myself right now. Just write out all my feelings. Rachel, as she's being taken away, Rachel says, I did care for Kim, and I'm going to miss her. But you know what I'm not going to miss? Planning all her weddings. As she's being taken away in cuffs. So again, kind of semi-circumstantial evidence, kind of blown away by a confession at the last minute.
Yeah. I think I'm glad we got the confession because the thing about the shoe, again, one, she would really have to whack it. Second of all, it was only in that part of the apartment.
And I don't even recall her limping. Or even because she had one broken heel and one good heel. So I don't even recall her limping in the apartment during the murder. So I was like, I don't know about that. And as you said, she had to be river dancing in the apartment to make these impressions on. Remember Riverdance, guys? Remember Riverdance, elder millennials? You remember that thing in the 90s? For you kids listening. Yeah, Michael Flatley and the Lords of Dance. For you kids out there listening, look up Riverdance. You'll enjoy it. Riverdance is right there with Macarena of 90s obsessions. And Enya. What? And Enya, yeah. Back when we were a real country. Okay, so to dive into a couple of the other odds and ends of the other storylines. Now, if you'll recall, last episode we left off with Alec doing a press conference. We'd found out all of Alec's lies, and now he's going to call a press conference. We were wondering, what is this press conference going to reference? Is he going to drop out of the race? Is he going to keep going with the race? Well, he says in this press conference, he apologizes for letting down the people of New York. There's no excuse for his behavior. Kind of a typical empty public apology. He says, I definitely exaggerated some things, and I let people hear what they wanted to hear. Like, it's a little bigger than that, Alec, but okay, you're downplaying it. That's cool.
I did like that he said in this, like, bad motives. Like, I did this the wrong, like, I got the conversation started in the wrong way. Like,
Exactly.
My intention to have this conversation was true and valid, but I was misguided in how I got there.
And he does say, don't vote for me, vote for the movement. But
Obama.
That doesn't mean he's dropping out. He's still in the race. But it's like, don't worry about me lying. Worry about the policies I want to put in place. Which is like, but how do we know you're not lying about the policies you want to put in place if you lie about other stuff? Would be my thinking of like, I don't know. And he's, they ask him at this press conference, why are you coming forward now? He says, someone important to me made me realize that without truth and honesty, we have nothing.
And it's like direct to camera. It's like
direct to camera, right at Elspeth. I'm talking to you, Elspeth. I'm talking to you. And Wagner is like, Elspeth, how many times are you going to watch this press conference? Because apparently Elspeth is watching this over and over and over again. Elspeth's like, do you think he's gonna win? What do you think is gonna happen? Wagner says, well, the fact that he did apologize, which is kind of rare, might help some voters overlook it. So I don't know. And Elsbeth goes, are you going to vote for him? He's like, no, he mistreated my friend. I was like, oh.
That's right.
Guys are friends. And Elsbeth in her way, just like, oh, no, please reconsider voting for him. Like, you have to vote for him, please. He didn't do anything that bad to me. It's like, girl, stand up. Stand up.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Later, Alec is at the precinct, and he runs into Elsbeth. It's a moment. He says, I just need to ask you one thing. And where do you do this, Marissa?
In an elevator.
In an elevator. If you are hip to our Good Wife coverage, elevators in the Kingverse are sacred places. In the elevator, he asks Elsbeth, will you watch E.T. with me? He admits that he lied to Teddy and Roy.
Yes, he does.
In the E.T. moment, he says, I just didn't want them to think I was weird for not having seen it. I said, what's weirder than not having seen that? Lying about not having seen that. That's even weirder. He assures Elsbeth that he's committed to telling the truth from here on out. Elsbeth says, I can't. I can't do this with you right now. Like, I just can't be with you in this moment. He tells her, well, I'll always be here if you change your mind. I'll never stop,
no matter how long
wanting this. No matter how days, months, years. I'll be here. I can take losing the election, but I can't bear losing you.
My eyes are rolling. My eyes are rolling in the back of my head.
I said, have we done enough work in this show to make this relationship feel real? I feel like they only started dating like 3 episodes ago.
Well, and we haven't seen, yes, we know he was over there, whatever, but there haven't been like conversations that we've been privy to.
Yeah.
It's just about like catching him in a lie of sorts. I don't think anything in this is earned, really.
Right.
Like, I think it's just like, and I would be very suspicious of anyone who, like, I confront about a thing and then 2 seconds later they change and then are wanting to like set everything right away without checking in, without having another conversation. You know what I mean? Like, this man just went straight to ET. He didn't say like, hey, did you see the press conference? Like, how are we feeling? What's going on? I'm so sorry. Like, he doesn't apologize to Elsbeth. Like, yes, he apologized to the city of New York, and yes, she lives in the city of New York, but he didn't apologize to her directly.
True, very true. And it's just the fact that we haven't lived in this relationship enough to make this feel like a good moment, right?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not rooting for Alec to get Elsbeth back. I don't care, because this is a brand new relationship in my mind, and honestly, I don't really feel any chemistry between Alec and Elsbeth in the first place.
There
It was
was
like,
more with Angus.
yeah, for sure.
Bring
And that
back.
one episode that we saw Angus, we felt more chemistry than we did for these two people that have been together, quote unquote, together for 3 episodes. You know, and Angus, her and Angus met over virtual, whatever.
The portal.
Yeah, through a portal. So it really fell flat for me. So Elspeth stood her ground in the moment and was like, "No, I can't do this with you, man. Like, I'm not down for this." But apparently, in the interim, she gave in, because the last scene of the episode is Elsbeth watching ET, and who is next to her but Alec, seemingly weeping.
Crying, but she's not crying.
She's not crying.
But she said, and the first time she talked about ET, she's like, "Oh, the ending, I can't help myself from crying." And this one, she wasn't crying. So something is not right. She's not feeling good.
So where do we think this is going? I
don't really care enough to answer the question. I wish I did.
I think they mentioned there's only like a week left till election day, which is like, oh, like that gives some context of like, oh, this is coming really, really soon. So I think the Winnie Crawford theory might be out the window, as a lot of our theories that we have about this show out the window. So I think it's really going to be whether or not Alec. We haven't even heard who Alec is running against. Like, what's happening?
If this was the only bad thing, though, also I am very like. If you think back in the show, we had that lieutenant guy who was running this crime spree thing, like behind, you know what I mean? Like, it was a much bigger thing. If it was just this lie about being unhoused, and I'm not saying that this is, this might be how jaded I am to politics in 2026. I'm like, there needs to be a bigger scandal here. Like, what is going on underneath all of this? I don't know. We'll see.
I think if I'm in this Elsbeth world and I hear about this guy lying about being unhoused, I'm like, all right, so what else is he lying about? Like, I just wouldn't trust a candidate like that.
At the day of recording, I would encourage you to check out the news coming out of California about Eric Swalwell. Just take a look.
Yikes, my bro. Yikes. Never trust that guy in the first place. He's got he had an aura.
A little swanky, weird vibe.
Yeah, it's the aura. Yeah, it's not good. Anyway, that's your politics moment in the episode. Okay, so we also have another little storyline which was interesting. With we find out that Wagner is going to be celebrating 30 years on the force, and he's going to be doing this with a party. So we, he's this whole big shindig he's throwing. He's invited a lot of people on the force to come to this party.
This has got to be like the season finale, right? Party.
Oh yeah, that could be something. Julia, Wagner's daughter, comes just swanking into the room like, "Hey, Dad, I gotta talk to you alone." It's like, oh, okay, relax, chill out. She's mad that Wagner decided to invite her ex, Rivers, to his anniversary party. And she tells Dad, rather brattily, I might add, you're gonna have to disinvite Rivers or I'm not coming.
No, yeah, it was like a ultimatum.
Excuse me?
It was like him or me, even though this is like your father's accomplishment.
Yeah, I was like, then I guess you're not coming. Like that would be my thing. Like, how dare you come in here and dictate to me who I'm going to be inviting into my party? I'm sorry that you decided to date one of my detectives when I told you not to.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to deal with that, little girl, or I guess you won't be coming. I was like, Julia, like, how? It gave me a whole different, like.
Did it give you the ick?
Thought it gave me the ick about Julia for sure.
Yeah.
So Wagner, because he is he's a whipped father, is just like, all right, well, hey Rivers, can you come in my office a little bit? Can you come over here? Sorry, got a cough. The Wagner voice.
The Wagner voice, yeah.
It's tough on the throat. He says, hey Rivers, so I know you a young guy. He says, I know you like to go to raves with your crew. This was one of the best Wendell Pierce as Wagner moments of the series. Like, I know you out there. You like to get in trouble, don't you? Rivers? Like, you like getting in trouble, right? So you don't want to come to some some party your boss is throwing. I know you're a busy guy. Rivers is like, well, actually, I don't really do anything on my time off. I don't really hang out with the crew or go do anything. So I'm more than available to come to your party. So I'm actually kind of like really happy that you invited me to this party. I'm honored, I'd even say. So Rivers is not getting the hint until he ends up, he kind of gets it at some point. He's like, oh, okay. So you don't mean, okay.
Yeah, I just remembered something.
Yeah, he says, oh, actually, you know what? Funny you should mention that. I actually had an aunt that recently died. So I'm going to be dealing with that. So yeah, I couldn't even come to your party if I wanted to. Sorry. I was like, ooh, this is a tough moment here to see.
Yeah, it was awkward because obviously he wanted to go, and then he had to walk it back and use the dead relative excuse.
Yes.
And Wagner's also in a like hard spot because he doesn't want to. He could easily say to Rivers, like, I know what you're doing. It's okay. You don't have to say that your aunt died. We can but because Julia put him up to this, he can't walk out of the situation as well.
He's taking the out that Rivers is giving him. He's like, all right, good, fine, I'm fine. Later, Julia is back in the precinct again, and she runs into Rivers. And she says, hey, I heard about your aunt passing away, and I'm sorry to hear that, but is this the same aunt that you said you had only one aunt, and that she'd already died, and that's what helped propel you into the law enforcement field? So Julia clocked this immediately as she heard it, and he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I just kind of panicked when I realized that Wagner didn't want me to come to his party. And Julia's like, yeah, actually, I was the one that wanted my dad to uninvite you, so that's why he did that whole thing. But she says, but hey, you should come through though. You should come to the party. I'm sorry for doing that. And she says, someone recently told me the world doesn't have to change because I am uncomfortable, which I didn't say in the beginning, but is what Wagner told her when she at first said she didn't want Rivers to come. She's like, the world doesn't change because you are uncomfortable. But Wagner still ended up, folding. But yeah, so she says, she says, Rivers, you should still come. I'm sorry I did that to you. Rivers says, okay, yeah, I'll come to the party, but I'll make sure I keep my distance.
Did you ever? Oh yeah, go ahead.
She goes, okay, but that won't be necessary. It's like, okay, Julia. Again, it's just like, all right, but I don't care about Rivers and Julia. We spent less than one episode in their relationship. Now I should care. They might be rekindling things. I don't even know why they broke it off.
Yeah, no, it just was like one day they're done.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I ever saw myself in a world like actually rooting for Rivers. Right. I'm like, you totally got played by in this whole situation. That totally sucked. I'm sorry you had to go through that. You should get a party. And that's the only, out of this whole thing, I do feel bad for Wagner that he was put in that situation. But like Team Rivers in this?
Yeah. I mean, I guess they've done a good job of redeeming Rivers, I guess.
Yeah.
They gave him a personality transplant apparently, because for those that remember our first Rivers encounter, he was a menace. He was terrible. But now all of a sudden he's just like really sweet, earnest guy. It's like, okay, there's one thing to redeem someone over a period of time, but it was instantaneous.
And that's like what they're doing with Alec as well, is like all of a sudden, oh, okay, he knows. And one of the things that I really liked about the show in the beginning was the building of relationships, because Elsbeth came in under this consent decree thing. She wasn't really trusted by Wagner and had to win over Wagner. We also had like the relationship being built with Kaya, and then they took that away. Now Wagner is like, Elsbeth's a saint. She can't do anything wrong, which is fine. Like I'm okay with that. It's true. Yeah. But like there's no other relationships, even the relationship with her and Teddy is not, like, I feel like we're swimming in the shallow end of the relationship development pool. Yeah. And which wouldn't be a problem if we weren't retroactively seeing this happen. Like if the show started here, it would be one thing, but because we had these deep developments before, it's just harder for me to care about these characters now, which is disappointing and frustrating as a viewer.
It's hard to care about characters like Julia and Rivers when we've only seen them here and there.
Right.
Like
Right.
we haven't spent enough time in this world with them. We cared about the relationship between Wagner and Elsbeth. We care about the relationship between Kaya and Elsbeth because those are the characters that spent a good amount of time with Elsbeth. They were building rapport. They had conflict and they solved it. You know, especially with Wagner and Elsbeth, they didn't like each other. Well, Wagner didn't like Elsbeth to begin with, and then over time, over the first season, they came to trust each other. And she came to be a confidant of his and someone that he knows he can rely on and trust. We built that. We built that over time. With this Rivers and Julia stuff, it's a big so what for me. Same thing with Alec, because we spend what 3 to 5 minutes per episode with Alec, and I'm supposed to really care about him and Elsbeth's relationship.
Well, and not only that, but you brought in someone with history. You brought Marissa into this situation, and she comes with, especially for viewers of this verse, I would say, of this universe, she comes with like a lot of history, a lot
Yeah.
of story behind her, and a lot of things. So I thought this was a way to get back into the deep end, but we didn't get that unless something's going to happen in the next 4 episodes. But I understand. I know, when we were talking about I understand the budgetary concerns and that were affected this season, and so I have a feeling that had to do with like how many times people show up on camera and everything. But I hate the fact that that is a justification that I'm using for the show in 2026. Like, I hate the fact that I'm like looking at the show with that lens of, oh, they were gonna get canceled and they had to change, you know what I mean, change the season, change the production schedule, change all of these things, and this is the season we got. I don't want to keep using that as like a crutch for the show, because it's been, we're in the 3rd season. It started last season a little bit in terms of where we were moving. So hopefully, I know it's been renewed for season 4, but hopefully we're getting to a place where they know a rhythm or they know a way to go. But I feel like this season has been a little disjointed when it comes to relationships, at least. Murder stuff they got. Murder stuff they've sort of figured out, especially with the 15 minutes with the murderer before we see anything happen. That part they figured out, but I think there's still work to do on the character development of the rest of the characters.
Yeah, just don't expect me to be invested in these characters' relationships if you're not going to spend the time
Right.
to invest in them. I think that's where they falter in
Right.
these subplots that they want us to really take hold of. Now, if you had Kaya still around and you gave me a subplot about Kaya because you spent so much time investing in that character, I would care. If this was Kaya and Rivers, I'd care because Kaya is here, right? Kaya's been here.
Yes.
I'd care, but I don't care because I don't know about Julia. I've seen Julia. I was fine with her the first episode. This episode, I'm like, ew, Julia. And same with Rivers. So it's just like, yeah, hopefully they get it figured out. They do a little bit better with those subplots and make them pay off in a better, more satisfying way. This was not really hitting it for me. So yeah, that's our episode, Marissa. You want to tell people where they can find you online? What you're up to? What you're doing?
Before I do, I want to thank you for taking a little bit more of the production stuff off my
I just
plate.
want to make sure you feel appreciated. You're feeling good. You're feeling happy with me. I just want to make sure.
You're doing great. You're doing great. You can find me at itsmemarissag.com, where I have links to all of the episodes. If you're only listening to us on our Elsbeth coverage, we do cover The Good Wife, and sometimes there are some great crossovers or mentions or characters that cross over. So feel free to check us out there. The best place to do that is actually on YouTube, because we have separate playlists for Elsbeth and The Good Wife. So you could just binge Good Wife all the time without necessarily having an Elsbeth here or there to get into. And then I'm also over on Whirlwind Podcast talking about Pretty Little Liars, one previously on at a time, and then on USS Sisterhood with my sister as we go into space. And talk about Star Trek: The Final Frontier, which is very apropos at the moment. It's just, unfortunately, my sister is a teacher. And children are the future and they need her at this moment. So more episodes to come shortly. But we at least had a little taste of space this week, which was nice to see.
Sure.
So that's what's going on with me. Jason, what's going on with you?
Yeah, you can, as always, find me here as Marissa mentioned, here and on the Good Wife side of our podcast. You can also find me on the A Perfect Match podcast with me and my friend Asia Welch, as we are exclusively on Patreon right now, covering Married at First Sight. We are rewatching old seasons because there's no new season on currently. So we just wrapped up rewatching season 10. So season 10 is we have the whole season over there for you to hear about, to hear our thoughts and opinions on. We got season 1, we got season 11 over there. We got rankings, we got fun little other podcasts that we're doing. So come check that out. It's on Patreon exclusively right now. Perfect Match Podcast. Check it out. That's it for me. That's it for Marissa. Until next time, stay good.